Hey, good Monday morning. I'm Meteorologist Courtney Aitken. Thanks so much for joining us on the Kare 11 app. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. It was really nice. We had the beneficial rain on Friday, got that out of the way during the morning and early afternoon. Hopefully that didn't impact your plans too much. And beyond that, Saturday, Sunday were beautiful with highs in the 80s and lower humidity. Felt really good. Here's a quick time lapse of our sunrise this morning. You can get a feel for the full scope of the kind of downtown skyline there from our Golden Valley camera. Not a ton of color to the sunrise this morning, but I show it to you because it's already August 3rd, and during the summer up to this point, we've had sunrises pretty early. They happen early during the summer, during the 5 o'clock hour. But this morning was our first 6 a.m. sunrise since May 2nd. So that's the last time the sun rose at 6. And so beyond today, slowly but surely, sunrises will get a little bit later and sunsets will get a little bit earlier. Looking ahead, at least for today, we're going to have highs in the 80s. It'll be a dry day, a sunny day, and it'll also be breezy at times with those winds out of the south picking up during the afternoon and early evening, approaching 15 miles per hour at times. Throughout the morning, we've been tracking showers and storms across north and northwestern Minnesota. North Dakota has been pretty active too. We only had one severe thunderstorm warning to the north of Bemidji. That was during the 6 o'clock hour, and that warning expired right at 6:45. We didn't see any severe thunderstorm warnings after that. So today, warm and breezy in the metro, plenty of sun. Winds out of the south 5 to 15, and sunset tonight will happen right about 8:30. Overnight tonight, that's when things get a little bit more interesting. And if you're in places like Bemidji, I want you to be especially weather aware, meaning have a way to get weather alerts, because you guys are under a level 2 or slight risk for severe weather. Areas in green are under a level 1. So if you were tuned in yesterday morning to our Sunday morning show, we did talk about this, but the yellow area did change very slightly compared to what I showed you yesterday morning on Sunday. Yesterday, what we saw was this yellow area way up in the northwestern corner of the state. So it included Thief River Falls, and now it's shifted slightly to the south. So Thief River Falls, you're now under a marginal risk, and we have that slight risk in yellow. Let's first break down the short-term forecast, and then we'll get a little bit more in depth. So today we're dry and warm, we're breezy. Overnight tonight into the very early hours of Tuesday morning, that's when we have a chance for rain. The best chance is going to be for northwestern Minnesota. Not only will they see rain, they're going to see some stronger storms. For us here in the metro, it's likely just going to be rain, and it's going to be very early on your Tuesday. The rest of the day should be dry, and we'll also have cooler temperatures tomorrow. 79 will be your high, 81 on Wednesday, looking nice. Thursday also looking pleasant with highs in the lower 80s, which is right about where we should be this time of year. These were your highs yesterday afternoon. On Sunday, 85 in the Twin Cities. Look at Duluth, lower 70s yesterday. I show you the high temperatures yesterday because today will be pretty similar, just a little bit warmer. Just by a touch, because we do have that breezy south wind, so that will help us to warm up a little bit more effectively. And we're dry today. We don't see storms until overnight and into the early morning hours of tomorrow, with an emphasis on northwest Minnesota. Once again, looking ahead, we're in the upper 70s by late morning, lower 80s by lunch. Couple passing clouds are possible, but we're really going to lean into that sunshine with highs making their way into the 80s for most of the state today. 87 here in the metro. We'll go 81 in Duluth, certainly warmer than yesterday. 72 in Grand Marais, 81 in Rochester, 85 Mankato, 88 in St. Cloud and in Brainerd. Now you'll notice up here, not only do we have the storm icons, we also have cooler temperatures. 78 in International Falls, only 70 in Thief River Falls. It's been raining there all morning. So that moisture, that cloud cover, all of the above is going to prevent them from warming up too much today. They're only going to make it to 70. They have the rain right now, and they'll continue to see it into tonight. So lows tonight in International Falls, Thief River Falls, even Moorhead and Bemidji will fall into the low 50s, almost feeling a little bit like fall. St. Cloud, you'll be in the upper 50s tonight. upper 60s in the Twin Cities, so we don't really cool off in a drastic way, but we do have that chance for rain in the very early hours of our Tuesday morning. What we don't have a chance for is the severe weather. That's good, but for folks to the northwest, you definitely want to be aware of that severe weather risk, which is once again a level 1 out of 5 in green. That's what we call a marginal, and it's a level 2 in yellow. That's what we call a slight risk, and that's going to include Bemidji and International Falls. Breaking down the severe weather threats, they're all on the table tonight and into again, the midnight hour for areas to our northwest. Although I will say the tornado threat, it's very low. So we can't rule out an isolated tornado, but it's certainly not the #1 concern. More than anything, because these storms are likely to form a line, I think that we should be concerned about some wind damage, and we also could see some hail. Even earlier this morning, we did see some cells up in northern Minnesota and North Dakota that did have some hail. So chances are, as we get into this evening's setup, we could see similar conditions. On top of that, we have a level 1 or also marginal risk of excessive rainfall. This is from the Weather Prediction Center, and this is on a scale of 4. So it only goes from 1 to 4. A level 1 is low, but it's a risk nonetheless. Really, the way that I like to look at this is if you have a marginal risk for excessive rain, it just means that we're going to have pockets of very heavy rain. Where it rains, it is going to pour. So some localized flooding is possible. Flash flooding, probably not so much, but if you think of areas in your neighborhood that are maybe a little bit lower lying or have poor drainage capabilities, anywhere that tends to flood when you get a lot of rain, those are going to be the trouble spots. And that's what we're going to be dealing with that marginal risk, which again does not include the Twin Cities. Now we have two different microcast models that we tend to lean on. We have the high-res model and we have the in-house, or what we call the graph model. I'm going to show you both just because the timing is slightly different and I want you to be prepared for either scenario to plan out. So we'll start with this in-house model. Shows some rain up near Thief River Falls, which I think is very believable throughout the afternoon. It's been raining there this morning, so chances for that to continue, likely, right? By about 8 o'clock, we have additional storms forming from International Falls down to Bemidji, which is where we have our level 2 risk. So that also looks very believable. Closer to 11 o'clock tonight, we have this line of storms forming. These are the storms that will have the potential to be strong to severe. By 3 o'clock in the morning, pay close attention to the timestamp. We have storms forming in Grand Marais and then some light rain making its way into the Twin Cities. According to this model, and this is the big difference in the two models, the rain is gone by 5:30 in the morning. So that's scenario number 1. Here is scenario number 2. Not a lot of difference with what happens during the day today and even after dark tonight. Storms stay to the northwest. The big difference here is what happens tomorrow morning. So this is 5 a.m. Remember, the other model had the rain out of here by 5 a.m. This model has the rain lingering through 5, even 6 o'clock, and then it's definitely out by 8 or 9 o'clock. So the moral of the story, if you are an early morning commuter, if you leave your house before it's light out, 3, 4, 5 a.m., you could see some rain tomorrow morning. You should be prepared to turn on the windshield wipers at some point. If you leave home 6, 7, 8 a.m., you're more likely to have a drier commute. But as we get into tomorrow afternoon, say you're headed down towards Rochester, La Crosse, they could see rain well into the afternoon. So that's why we have a level 1 marginal excessive rainfall outlook into those areas well off to our south and southeast for tomorrow. So just a heads up if by chance you're headed that direction. And the reason for the rain and storm chances tonight and tomorrow morning are a cold front. So as the cold front passes, regardless of whether or not we see rain, we're going to be cooler tomorrow. Look at this, 68 for a high temperature in International Falls tomorrow, 72 in Duluth, 74 for Brainerd, 70 Bemidji, 71 in Wilmer, and for the Twin Cities, forecasting 79 degrees. Our high temperature tomorrow is largely going to depend on when we get the rain and how much. So if we do get that rain lingering through 5, 6 a.m., that could pull down our high temperatures for the day just a bit. But if the rain is out of here by 4 a.m. and we dry out and then we see the sun coming out, we could definitely be a little bit warmer. As far as highs over the next 5 days, we only get one day in the 70s and then it heats back up. But even then, it's pretty manageable. We've had plenty of 90s this summer. If anything, I've heard from a lot of you that this summer has been on the hot side for Minnesota. It's certainly been humid. It's my first summer here and it's been toasty. I've been surprised. I don't mind the heat, but it definitely has been warm. So I think these temperatures are very manageable. Average high this time of year is 83 degrees, and that's right where we'll be by Thursday. That's a very seasonal day. And then we get a little bit warmer as we round out the work week with those mid 80s arriving Friday into Saturday, just above average. And that actually looks like it will be the trend over the next 6 to 10 days. So this is our map from the Climate Prediction Center, and what this tells us is our likelihood of seeing temperatures above, below, or near normal. And the color scheme here is easy to understand. That's why I really like this map. When we have the warmer colors, the oranges, the reds, that indicates warmer than normal temperatures. And then the cooler shades, which we don't have on this map, the blues, the purples, things like that, that will indicate colder than normal temperatures. But this map makes it very clear that we are expected to see warmer than normal temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days, roughly a 40-ish% chance of seeing those above normal temperatures, especially south of the Twin Cities and into places like Iowa. To our north, places like International Falls, it's maybe a 30% chance of seeing above normal temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days. Now, according to the National Weather Service, they don't expect us to see 90s, but more of the 80s are certainly looking probable. All right, here is your 7-day forecast. Averages are 65 for a low, 83 for a high. So today will be above average, but overall a really nice day with lots of sunshine, 87 degrees this afternoon and a breezy wind out of the south. You'll notice tomorrow we have that AM rain chance, so morning rain chance. And when I say morning, I mean really, really early. The best window for rain chances is between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And it really depends on which model you want to trust. One model has the rain lingering through the 6 o'clock hour. The other model has the rain gone by 5 a.m. So which scenario actually comes to be will determine where our high temperatures land tomorrow. But I do think 79 is a good bet. Regardless of where we land tomorrow, it will be cooler than today because the rain chances are being triggered by a cold front, which passes overnight tonight. After tomorrow, we slowly but surely trend warmer through the end of the work week. 81 on Wednesday, very nice for midweek. Pleasant again on Thursday, very seasonal, 83 degrees for a high there. And then by Friday, it's warm again, 86. And beyond this week, our next rain chance is Saturday into Sunday. Not going to guarantee a huge washout or crazy storms or anything. We're just too far out at this point, but that is our next chance for some beneficial rainfall. So one more time, if you're getting ready to head out, let's take a look at the radar. Nothing in the Twin Cities, and we will have a very quiet day here in the metro with a whole lot of sunshine and some gusty winds. But if you're up to the north and especially northwest Minnesota, it's looking like a wet day. To the north of Bemidji, it just continues to rain. It's been raining for that area nearly all morning long, and we have more of that on the way as we head into tonight. So just make sure that you are staying weather aware. Today in the metro, 87 for a high, abundant sunshine, warm and breezy with those winds out of the south. Sunset tonight is at 8:36 after this morning's sunrise was at 6 a.m. for the first time since May 2nd. Tonight will be the really time of highest interest since we have those storms developing to our northwest. Some of those are expected to be strong to severe. So here's your severe weather outlook. A level 2 in yellow, including International Falls and Bemidji. Alexandria, you're kind of right on the cusp between that marginal and slight risk. But either way, you want to be weather aware. St. Cloud, Twin Cities, Duluth, Mankato, Wilmer, we are not included in that severe weather outlook. but we certainly could see some rain and storms around the midnight hour and shortly thereafter. So after the rain tomorrow, we are cooler with 80s returning Wednesday.